Hey everyone, Rob J here, and welcome to the Nova. Today we're talking about Ghouls and Ghosts for the Sega Genesis. Now, originally, I was going to make a video called Hardest Levels in Ghouls and Ghosts, but let's be real here. Every single level in this game is pretty damn hard. Now, I have to remind you that this is an arcade port, so it's meant to guzzle your quarters, hence the difficulty. But let's talk about the story. The story goes is that everyone's soul in the kingdom has been stolen by Lucifer and even Arthur's love, Princess Prinprin. Yes, Princess Prinprin. Try saying that name without smiling or laughing. I guarantee you can't do it. Now it's up to Arthur to get all the souls back. It's not a bad story. It's straight to the point. There's a clear enemy and nothing more to it. The story is good. It's good for what it was. Yeah. So let's talk about the gameplay. The one thing that I do not like about the gameplay is that Arthur is locked vertically as he jumps. So you have to keep running in order to jump into a direction that you want to go. So you can't necessarily jump and then move. You have to be going in the direction you want to jump to. So that's kind of difficult to get used to, but you eventually will. It sucks. And Arthur is a pretty delicate protagonist. Yes. He has 2 hit points in total. Yes, 2 hit points. He's in his armor. If you get hit once, he loses his armor, and he's down in his boxers. If you get hit while you're in your boxers, you're dead. Yes. And one thing I want to mention that's really important is that always play in practice mode and never in professional. I guarantee if you play in professional mode, you will turn off your Sega Genesis and never play this game again. The game has a high learning curve. It's difficult, but I feel it's very rewarding, but not rewarding enough to play professional mode, if that makes any sense. I always played it in practice mode because it was so forgiving, unlimited continues, and the game was so nice to me. Yeah, I like that. Because I'm a casual player, I'm not hardcore. You know, I have created guides on my channel of how to defeat bosses really quickly or really easily, but that always takes practice. I'm a casual player at heart. But going back to the modes, always play practice mode, yes. And this game is infamous for getting to the very end of the game, roughly around stage 5, the end of stage 5, and then you have to go back to the very beginning because it was all an illusion, trick, whatever you want to say. When you start again, it goes into professional practice mode. So you still have the luxury of being treated really nice, but now you're in professional mode. So the stages are a little bit difficult. The enemies will take a little bit more hits to take down, and the bosses are going to be a little bit more difficult. So you gotta practice, yes. And getting your ultimate weapon called the Psycho Cannon, I had to read a guide because I got to the very end again, and then I got sent back to stage 5, which was nice, but I had to read a guide stating that it's the 3rd chest in stage 5 where you get the Psycho Cannon. Because without the Psycho Cannon, you can't proceed to take on Lucifer or Loki. The region names got changed from Japan to North America. I don't know why. In North America, the final boss is called Loki, and in Japan, it's called Lucifer. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, getting the Psycho Cannon, you can get it in stage 5, and it's the 3rd chest. Whether or not you need the golden armor, I'll talk about that in a second, I believe it's relevant to get the golden armor. Just get the golden armor just to play it safe. But the golden armor lets you have access to your weapon's super ability. And, you know, some of the super abilities are pretty cool. I really enjoyed having the dagger super ability, which creates a double of you, so that means that you're throwing twice the projectiles. The torch had these projectiles that fly all around, and the lance has like this lightning bolt that comes vertically and then horizontally. And let's talk about the weapons. Sorry, I mixed that up, but you know, you get the idea of what the golden armor does and unleashes your weapon's superpower. Yes. The lance is my favorite. The dagger is my favorite. I like the axe, and the discus is not too bad. I hated having the sword and the torch. The sword, yes, I believe it's the most powerful weapon aside from the Psycho Cannon. It sounds so cool saying Psycho Cannon. Aside from the Psycho Cannon, but again, it's melee range or melee. I'll say melee. It's melee range. But that makes taking down bosses and enemies a lot more difficult. Especially in stage 3 where you're going up an elevator. So I did not like having that sword. And the torch, while it's cool that it creates a wave, a wave along the platform, it's got a short range to shoot, from enemies in the air. So it's not the best. It's got a great superpower. Above all, my favorite weapon is the dagger. Yes, the dagger was the best. And I'm sure that's everyone else's favorite amongst the other weapons. Let's talk about the stages though. Stage 1 and Stage 2 are not that bad. It gets Stage 3, Stage 4, Stage 5 is where it gets a bit tricky. Stage 2, you're introduced to the Red Demon, who makes a frequent appearance in Stage 5. And the Red Demon, I swear he input reads you hardcore. He knows where you're going, and I hate taking that enemy down. It's such an annoying enemy, and believe me, it's probably been the most frustrating enemy for me in this game, period. I hate that enemy. And in Stage 5, there's nothing but red demons, so good luck getting through Stage 5. Especially with the Psycho Cannon, because the Psycho Cannon, again, going back to the items here, the Psycho Cannon has a limited range as you throw it, so it doesn't go very far, and it disappears quite quickly if I can talk. So keep that in mind. But the stages, Stage 1, Stage 2, not that bad. Pretty straightforward. Pretty easy platforming. Stage 3 has you going up an elevator. And if you have the broadsword, that stage becomes a whole lot harder. Yeah, so try and avoid the broadsword. Unless you have an amazing skill with the broadsword, then get it by all means. But other than that, don't get the broadsword. Just don't get it for that stage and going forward. It sucks. But in Stage 3, you're going up the elevator and it's all about timing in Stage 3, because once you get past the elevator and past the closing platforms, you're doing some platforming with these demons who stick out their tongue. Now, if you stall too much time, you can fall to your death or get eaten by the demons. And once you're in practice professional mode, there's more obstacles. There's this blue flame we have to jump over. So, this stage sucks. But the boss isn't too bad. The boss was actually pretty easy for Stage 3. Now, Stage 4. Yes, Stage 4. This platforming stage wasn't too bad. No, but that caterpillar maggot boss for Stage 4, why? It produces these little maggots or June bugs or whatever you want to call them, and also produces this other invincible protector caterpillar thing, and you gotta time it so well to avoid them as you're trying to hit the hearts of this giant maggot boss. That boss was a pain, especially in practice professional mode, because I found that caterpillar protector invincible enemy, sure, let's call it that, spawned a lot more frequent. Yeah, so that boss was one of the worst for me. Yes, and that stage in general wasn't too bad. Still quite difficult. Now, Stage 5 is the holy grail of this game of being the most frustrating level. Yes, being the most frustrating level, because, oh man, you're fighting every boss again, and you're introduced to this weird enemy boss who shoots flames from his mouth and from his stomach. But you're also introduced to the final boss, which is the final boss of the stage, who is called the Phantom Bee. Yes, the Phantom Bee. He's actually pretty easy, and as he's spawning, you can actually hit him before he fully spawns because he's made from bees. That's what I think he's made from. He's made from bees, but he's pretty easy to take down. But this is the stage, as I mentioned before, where it's full of red demons. And these red demons, you have to get really, really clever of how to hit them, because you kind of have to predict where they're going as you're throwing your projectile. And that's kind of tricky with the Psycho Cannon, because that projectile only goes so far. So good luck trying to take on those red demons. But the gameplay in this game, I did enjoy. It's challenging, yes, but if you understand the backstory as, well, not the backstory, the purpose that it's an arcade port, then you'll accept it. You'll be like, I understand this difficulty and I'm willing to take it on. No matter how frustrated and how much I want to break my controller. I didn't mind the gameplay that much. No. One more thing I forgot to mention regarding the items is, I think I forgot to mention about the axe. The axe goes in a diagonal, and that's all well and good. So get the axe if you can, because that diagonal projectile range is pretty cool. It's not a bad projectile to have, because it actually works well in your favor against the red demon as it's going in a diagonal versus going straight. So it kind of throws them off a little bit. So if you can get the axe, grab it. You're gonna get used to it pretty quickly as it's throwing a diagonal. The discus against the red demons, no. I don't think that will work very well for you. But sorry, I keep going back and forth between the weapons and the stages, but I want you to understand how much I hated Stage 5. I want you to understand that. Because Stage 5 is not forgiving. It keeps beating you down with the red demons and having a tiny little boss gauntlet. Oh man. But at the end of the day, I did enjoy this game. I think I was a sucker though when I originally picked it up for $60. You're gonna be like, why did you do that? And I was at the early stages of collecting for my Sega Genesis. And I saw this game at my local game shop, and I'm like, $60 with the case and manual. Wasn't in the greatest condition, but I wanted to have it because I remember borrowing it from a friend back in the day. Now, I have a stupid story to go along with this. So back in the day, I let my friend borrow Sonic the Hedgehog for Ghouls and Ghosts. Played it, loved it, and everything. Towards when I had to give the game back to my friend, and this is when Pokemon came out, by the way, so Pokemon Red, Blue, yes. He said he had on a floppy disk Pokemon Red. Now, he was like, he's like, I can keep the Sonic and give you this floppy disk that has Pokemon Red. Me being young and naive, I was like, holy shit, that's such a good deal. I didn't tell my parents about that until much later. And I was like, oh cool, I have this floppy disk that has Pokemon Red on it. Now he told me that you have one shot to make it work as you put it into your computer to unlock the file. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I put it into my computer and it was blank. And when I was like, yo, there's nothing on here, he was like, you screwed up. I'm not trading you back your Sonic the Hedgehog. And me being a young kid and being like, well, I didn't know any better, I didn't say boo. Isn't that the dumbest story you ever heard? Sorry to branch off there. That's how I got to play Ghouls and Ghosts back in the day, and that's how that story kind of chains with it. But in terms of if you want to buy the game for your collection, you're going to have a lot of fun with it, but you're also going to be frustrated with it. So keep that in mind. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Rob J. Thank you for entering the Nova, and I'll see you next time. Take care.